Perfect. There we go. Yeah, it helps that way. Sometimes when we do these things, and then after it's like, oh, geez, what was that thing he said again? And then it just helps to be able to go through it again and see it. And I usually get my wife to go through it later and give me tips on how it can be better. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been in business there?
We started up like 2 or 3 years ago. So like 2020.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah,
Congrats,
it started kind of slow for us. So we weren't really we didn't have like a business plan, or really too much information going in. And for a while we really didn't do too much with it. But in the last year we've just learned so much and been so involved in it that things have kind of
That's
taken
wicked.
off.
Yeah. No, that's the best. And what services you guys primarily do? Just detailing or ceramic coating?
So we've done mostly just detailing, a little bit of like paint correction and ceramic coatings. We haven't done any paint protection film yet, but something that we're definitely trying to work into.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's a huge moneymaker for us at our shop. The PPF. Oh yeah, big time. But definitely I recommend training for it, and the right material is key. And so just some other tips that might help is when you do, let's say you start working with a particular supplier, whoever it is, we use S-Tech primarily at our shop, but we've tried, sometimes we do 3M as well. It all varies. The one thing I would say is each manufacturer has their own like ratios for their slip solution and their tack solution. Make sure you either buy it from them directly or figure out what the ratios are from your rep, and only make so like we have bottles that are labeled, and this one will say 3M, the other one says S-Tech, so on and so forth. That way we know, because if you use the wrong one, that install is going to be a pain. And not only that, but it's going to take you 10 times as long, probably won't even adhere properly, stuff like that. But that's awesome, man. Okay, so detailing, ceramic coating. And how many people are in the business right now? Just the two of you?
Yeah, just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Absolutely. Keeps your costs down, keeps you guys lean and stuff. I'm just taking some notes that might help, during the call. But if you want, like I can share my screen. We can start jumping into some stuff as well. And then or do we have an ETA on the other?
He was in there, so he was waiting to be let in. I don't know if it shows anything on your end.
Hold on. I see admit. Oops. It's totally my fault. There we go. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Oh, he's connecting to audio. Hold on, we'll wait. I got to talking and I didn't see the admit part. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry, my computer was just, there we go. We're all good now.
Okay, perfect. No trouble. Yeah, I didn't know. I had you sitting there in the waiting room too. I was just talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
So I was just asking some prelim questions, finding out a little about the business so that I can help kind of guide you guys through the software and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys at some point looking to get into PPF, but right now mostly detailing, ceramic coating, so on and so forth. Started 2020, which is great. Congrats, guys. And then the two of you right now, but hopes to expand or looking to kind of just keep things just the two of you guys.
Yeah, we would definitely like to expand.
Okay, perfect. And not just in other services, but also expand in your current services with other team members, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, because then what I'll do is I'll spend most of the focus here, obviously answering your questions, but also showing you some stuff that pertains to the features and tools you'll need now. But then I'll let you know some of the features that'll be there as you grow, they're there right now, but features that'll help you as your business grows. Because like right now, maybe you guys want to track your time, so you might use the time clock, but that's more something that you'd use for like employees, things like that. So it's really helpful to have them punch in, punch out. So knowing that those features are there as you grow, it gives you that confidence that OrbisX has the tools that are going to help my business as it expands as well, right? So but perfect. Okay, so I got some good prelim info here. Let's start with some questions you guys have, and then I can go over those and show you some other stuff in the other goodies in the system.
Gotcha. Let me pull up the software here really quick, just so I can have a visual in front of me as well.
And I can, if it helps, I'll share my screen. That way you can see the demo app there, and then we'll be able to, let me see here, share screen. Screen, yes, share. Okay. There we go. Okay, you can see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'll just refresh it. There we go. Close those ones. Perfect. All right, so this is just a demo account, so we can play around in here. We can add stuff, delete stuff, whatever we need to do. So I can go through it and answer some questions. So yeah, if you got some questions, fire away, and then I'll get those answered for you right away.
I guess something just to start. I kind of saw a little something about having one of your team members kind of set up the whole account. What is that? What does that process kind of look like?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we have what's called the premium Zoom setup option. And so the price just went up slightly, but it's 2 hours long and everything's paid directly to the expert. And there is post basically setup that's included with that. So you'll have basically a dedicated rep, and then the cost is $400 right now for the 2 hour session. You can break it up in two parts as well. And this member, basically how the position got filled is they started with OrbisX in the very, very, very beginning. They were a mobile business and it was just the two of them. So it's almost kind of like your early stages kind of thing, right? So it was just the two of them. They've now grown. They have several employees. They're now in a massive shop. They just took possession of about 2 or 3 weeks ago. His name's Aaron Latman. He's a fantastic entrepreneur, and he's used the system to help grow his business substantially. And so through that, he was awarded the expert status. And so he does a lot of the setup and training for guys. And so what he does is the initial setup goes through, it gives you a walkthrough, but also sets up everything for you. Like he'll set up your text messaging, your automated follow-ups, your booking form, all these kinds of things. And then after the call, if you have a question about something, you can message him as well. So he is available for, like post like setup questions and stuff, but he's really good as well because he's optimized the system to grow a business really well, and so he can give those little tips and feedback and stuff that really help. It's kind of just to expedite the process. So he does that, and like I said, it can be broken down in 2 sessions, so you can do 2 1-hour sessions, or you can do the full 2 hours at once. It's up to you. That's all worked out with him directly. So OrbisX doesn't actually make any money off that or anything like that. It's more just there's a service available for people that want to expedite the process of getting things set up like tomorrow, and set up really well. Now, that being said, too, he also does have a course. I think it's $99 or it's $149. It's essentially all the same stuff that he covers in the setup, but it's just he goes over it and you would proceed through the course and then do it yourself. So he explains how and why, but then the actual execution of putting in the information that would be done by yourself. So that's the difference. So there is that option as well. And then the third option is, of course, there's tons of videos that I've done on each feature, and I did them on each feature individually. And I set them up on a getting started page. You can kind of go through things piece by piece and set them up.
Gotcha.
Typical time to set up an account, if you did it just on your own, on average, it's around 2 weeks while you're working. So it's not 2 weeks to set up. It's because you're still running your business, right? So it's, 15, 20 minutes a day, and then it's, an hour on the weekend and stuff like that. So usually most people have their account fully set up in about 2 weeks. But anyway, it's also your involvement in the group too. Like if you ask questions when you're setting stuff up, all the members are really active and they help out people. So, asking questions, highly recommend it. The group is great. I myself contribute in there daily and make sure that, people know how to do stuff. And don't get me twisted too. My own staff, even after 2 years of using the system, they'll ask me, they're like, I can't remember where this is again. And I'll be like, oh, no problem. It's under this page, this page. There's a lot going on in the software, but that's one of the downsides in the sense is that you can get lost at times. But one of the bonuses is that all of those options are there. And trust me, it's better to have them than not have them. And 90% of it's set up by default and it's ready to go for automation as well. So that's essentially how that works. So that's question one. What else you got for me?
As far as like the CRM itself, it's pretty understandable from us. We have used like a previous CRM before, and we have seen like quite a few of the YouTube videos on your guys' channel.
Nice.
As well as some of the podcasts and stuff too. So
awesome.
Big fans of the podcast for sure.
Right on. Thanks, man. Yeah, just the tip.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a really good one coming this Tuesday too. So
awesome.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, we genuinely learn quite a bit from them. So
yeah.
Right on. That's awesome. I'm always happy to hear that because like a lot of work, believe it or not, goes into it. Like we do a lot of research beforehand, like what should we talk about? What kind of stuff's going on in the industry that people need to know right now? Because like between Marty and myself, we've got like 40 years of business experience, but it's hard to figure out like what do you guys need to hear right now in this moment for how the economy is and everything like that. So I'm happy to hear that it's helping you guys. Absolutely.
Definitely. Big time.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Just a tip. So yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, you're right. Most of the software is pretty straightforward. So if you want, like, if you don't have any specific questions per se, I can go over some things and maybe it'll like spur up some questions as well. But I'll show you like at my own shop, for example, I can show you the tools that we use the most and the things that we find we've generated the best results from. And so like in terms of where you're at in the software so that I can kind of gear this to the right things for you. Are you actively using it right now to put in like invoicing and stuff? Would you have any questions around invoicing and payments and stuff? Or is it more the automation and marketing tools? Where would be a good place?
I would say the automation and marketing tools. We don't do very many mobile jobs, so typically we're just taking a card payment.
Okay, perfect.
We don't do as many invoices. Typically we'll just send them out through like Stripe, our payment processor, if we do.
Sure, yeah.
But
one thing you could do, are you using the Stripe the chipper or the whatever it's called now, the BBOS or whatever, or are you using the terminal?
We got a terminal.
Oh, nice. The terminal's amazing. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Because the other, that little device thing, oh my gosh, problem after problem with that little one. They have Bluetooth issues and all kinds of problems. The terminals are awesome. But okay, so because what you could do is connect everything together in one and then just send the invoice right to the terminal from OrbisX. And then it'll mark the payment for you automatically and all that stuff. So could save you some steps for sure. So I can that kind of thing. It's a little more, it's not in depth for the setup, but it involves you going in your Stripe account, stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll send you some info on that to get it set up if you desire.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Because yeah, those little terminals, they're pretty cool. And the great thing too is it doesn't have to be like plugged into the device. So you could be on your phone or whatever, and you could just, send a terminal. It'll send it from OrbisX to the terminal, and then you can process the payment. But
awesome.
So okay, so I'll focus on the marketing tools and the automation for you then.
Yeah.
So which is my favorite part of the software because business is great, but all the other like the accounting stuff's pretty boring, right? It's oh yeah, invoices, payments, getting paid is exciting, but how do we get more people to pay us, right? That's the exciting part. So I'll head to the marketing tab and I'll quickly go over the options that are here. Some you might be familiar with, some might be brand new. But there's little things like right now, at this stage of your business, maybe you are, maybe you aren't going to a lot of like, conferences or, other networking events, stuff like that. But as you start to attend a lot of those, that's where things like your digital business card will come in handy. But then also if you go to car shows or even just other type of events where there's a large number of people together, sometimes, business cards are one thing, but it's easy if you can just share your QR code, for example, goes right to your business card, and then it has all your links. So someone from their phone, they can check out your website, your booking form, add your contacts, all that kind of stuff. These are the kind of things where it takes 10 seconds to set up. You just, put in your information, hit save, and then it's done. And then it's going to look like how it does here on the right-hand side. So just little things like this. What I recommend is going through the entire marketing tab and just piece by piece going through each one and setting up everything that's in here. And let's say you did this, I'm going to set up one every weekend, right? Well, you might get to digital business card and it takes you 5 minutes. So it's okay, great. Then I'll go on to the AI booking rules. And so now you've done 2 of them. And then by the time you're done, there's not much in here because some of it's like the podcast and then, the audiobook, stuff like that. But basically setting up all of these things, this is what's really going to, propel your business forward and generate a lot of business for you. My personal favorite one is the AI booking rules. And this was made, so the artificial intelligence is a big part of OrbisX running in the background. It's assessing all your client profiles, everything like that. And its entire purpose in the beginning was to reach out to all your past customers to book repeat appointments. That was the whole purpose of it. The reason being is my shop was growing too fast. We weren't able to call everybody. At the time, my wife and I were literally working at the shop and we were the ones cleaning the cars when we first started. I wasn't able to do that and call past customers to book new appointments, but we weren't doing any advertising really. We didn't, I said, let's bootstrap this thing. Let's not spend a ton of money on advertising. Let's just grow organically and get the best kind of customers we can. So I was, following up on leads by the phone, but then if I'm doing something else, I couldn't do that. So I said, okay, how can I accomplish this? And once we started hiring people, I said, geez, we can't have them. I hired them to, clean a car or put on ceramic coating. I can't have them stopping to answer the phone and do this all the time. But we need to follow up on past appointments and follow up on customers. So the AI was built primarily to solve that problem. And what's cool about it, I'll click in here. So what's cool is you can create rules for every single one of your services and, packages, variations, different things. Have you guys set any of these up yet, or is this new for you?
We've kind of seen this stuff in terms of like sending out messages to customers a certain day after they had shown up. But we haven't put anything into play yet. No.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, sure. So I'll use some real world examples from my own shop of how we use this, because we use it differently for services. So our detailing booking rules will be different than our ceramic coating, for example, stuff like that. So for services where we want to see the same customer again and again and again for the same service, like a detailing service, things like that, people usually want the same kind of clean that they had last time, things like that. So those ones we try to target with a higher frequency, but with the exact same message for that service, right? So let's say it's detailing. We're going to try and go after people that last had an appointment within a recent time period, maybe not a week ago, of course, but usually we'll set it to something like 3 months ago. So our goal is let's get them in every 90 days for a detail. That's our goal, right? So then in that case, we'll set it to detailing, and then we'll choose what days. For us, we're open 6 days a week. So I would say something like, these are the suggested days. What that's going to do is tell the AI when it's scanning your customer profiles and trying to figure out, okay, John always likes to get his car detailed on a Tuesday. It's going to look for the next available Tuesday, and it's going to reach out to John and be like, hey, we've got this Tuesday open and stuff like that. So it's really smart in trying to put the pieces together to say, what are the highest odds of getting that customer to book a repeat appointment? It's not just, let's reach out to all customers willy-nilly. No, it's saying, okay, John likes to come on Tuesday, Billy likes to come on Friday. So it's going to look for different days for each customer and try and figure out when the best appointment time is. And then how you fill the calendar. So you might determine you're busy if you have, 3 appointments or more. Or maybe you determine you're busy if, we need to have 10 appointments, right? So for those services, you might say, okay, days with less than 10 appointments, we're technically not busy for detailing. So get as many jobs as you can. The AI is going to open up more opportunities depending on how you set these limits. But then you might say, no, I'll take care of the days where we have appointments. I only want the AI to help me fill completely empty days. So that's where you can set it to empty days, and it'll just choose those kind of empty days as well as the other criteria, right? So it's really flexible, and this is being expanded upon all the time. So the AI is getting better every day. And not only that, but we're adding more options in. So recently, like this was added in where you can have variations. So you can get really specific to, not just someone that came in for detailing, but maybe someone that came in for a very specific package, or, in this case, like sedans and coupes. I want this message to go out only to people that came in and got that specific detailing package, right? So it's really great that you can get really refined with your marketing that way. Now, that's how we would use it for something like I mentioned, they're going to come back in for again and again and again. But what about something like ceramic coating, where I want to message them every 90 days and say, hey, like what do you say at that point? Maybe a post-service message where it's, like how are you enjoying your coating? Do you want to come in for a reload or something like that? But we want to target them differently. And in those cases, that's usually where we'll try and cross-sell them instead of selling them the same service. So what we do is we'll set it up for, anyone that came in for ceramic coating, 6 months ago. We're going to hit them up, and we're going to tell the AI to try and book them in for detailing instead of ceramic coating, because we know their car already got coated. So we're going to make them a different message, and we're going to target them. Yes, they got ceramic coating done, but we're going to hit them up for detailing instead, right? And now the AI is really smart in the sense that, let's say it sends a guy a message for detailing to try and book another appointment. And then the next day it says, oh, well, this guy also got a ceramic coating. It's not going to try and send him a message the next day saying, hey, here's a ceramic coating message. Reason being is because you don't want to oversell them either. you want them to stay focused on whatever it was that you tried to sell them at that time. So the AI is really smart. It'll help you like that. So this is one of those things where literally you set it and you kind of just forget it. And you might have to, as you expand and you add new services, or maybe if you have a new promo or you want to tweak some things, you can definitely do that. But this is definitely something you could set up right now and it'll just run on autopilot. It's going to be the cheapest staff member you ever hire. You know what I mean? So that's highly recommended. One of my favorite ones. That's why I spent so much time on this. That's one of my favorite ones.
Awesome.
I'll go through the other ones, but I won't need to be as elaborate because I can already tell you guys are just completely picking up everything. You're getting it, which is good. So upsells. I don't know. Have you guys added any upsells? Are you familiar with the upsells at all, or?
Yeah.
We don't
Well,
have
not with that.
automatic upsells going. No, we do. We'll talk to customers when they bring the vehicle in or throughout the
Perfect.
detail, trying to make those upsells, but we don't have anything. Like I saw that
automated.
you guys do like the upsells on a day that you're not meeting the goal. Like that's something that we could definitely benefit from.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's where the best way to upsell is exactly what you're doing, talking with the customer about it, because it's the easiest way to get across that value, right? So it's going to be easiest to close it. That being said, though, introducing them to the upsells, even if they don't pull the trigger right away, it brings up a talking point. That's how we do it at our shop. So a lot of people add them themselves before the appointment, which is awesome. And you'll get a notice saying like so-and-so added this upsell and this and that. But we mostly use it just as a talking point. So we're like, oh, by the way, when you got your appointment reminder, well, first we might say like, did you get your appointment reminder? Like, thanks for showing up. We appreciate it. So the reminders are working. They usually laugh and they're like, yeah, I got them. And we say, oh yeah, did you see in there? There was a little thing about pet hair removal. And we say, that was sent out, but what we can do, the price that's in there, I can actually get you a better deal on that because you are getting the service done and so on and so forth. And we kind of just lead into it like that. And then we usually get them to add one or two at least. And then sometimes we get 3 or 4. So it's kind of just a talking point for us to lead into that. But the AI also does upsell before their appointment. So you'll get people that just randomly add it to their appointment and you're like, thanks for the extra money.
Wow.
So, absolutely.
That's
And the
awesome.
great thing too is it'll show up on your booking form as well. So the AI pitches it in the reminders, but also it shows up on the booking form and so on and so forth. So
Awesome.
and the cool thing too is just last thing to touch on is there are limitations as well. So when you're in here, you'll be able to set, I only want, let's say you're upselling a ceramic coating. Well, you can say, okay, I want that to be upsold on detailing, brake dust removal, car wraps, whatever. But I want it to exclude ceramic coating. So that way, if they already have a ceramic coating, it's not going to try and upsell them ceramic coating because that doesn't make any sense, right? So that's the one thing to pay attention to when you're adding in the upsells. Lead follow-ups. This is one of those set it and forget it things as well. And you can set them to different days. And what this will do is when a lead is added to the system, it'll automatically follow up after so many days. So it's kind of like a drip campaign. So in this case, follow-up timing, let's say you set one to 1 day, then you set another one to 3 days, and then another one to 7 days, right? You can choose the frequency in here for the follow-up timing. But the timings that we've set at our shop, we do the 1 day, so 24 hours after, 3 days, and then we do another one at 7 days. And the reason we do that is because we have those multiple touch points, but there's no real gap in the touch points because in between those days, we're following up in other ways as well. So we follow up automatically 24 hours after. That one's because we might forget that we got to call them right away. So this way there's a fail safe, they get a call. But 2 days after we add a lead in, we go through and we look at all the leads that were added 2 days ago and we call them on the phone. So that way they get, no matter what, they get a message within 24 hours. And then the next day after that, so 48 hours later after becoming a lead, they're getting a phone call. And then 3 days, boom, they get another message that goes out. And these messages will stop the minute they become a customer, right? So you don't have to worry about, I have to stop a campaign or something like that. It's all automated. But the beauty about it is that you at least have those gaps with the touch points so that you can fill in the gaps in between with the phone calls. But if you forget or you're tied up or whatever, the system will still follow up with them, keep them active, and that way you can nurture that lead along. Our most highest converting one is the 3 day. The 7 day one's really good too, but our 3 day one basically reaches out and it just says, hey, we've been having trouble, getting a hold of each other. We've got an incredible deal for you. Just hit me back with a message. Can't wait to tell you about it. That one converts like crazy. everybody's curious. They're like, what's the deal? That's usually what people write back. Just what's
Yeah.
the deal? Question mark, they all want to know. And no joke, we make it up. We make it up every time. So what we do is when someone writes back, we look up their lead profile. Okay, what were they interested in? Oh, ceramic coating. All right, cool. Let's see, what kind of car was it? Oh, they got this. Oh, perfect. Okay, you know what? We message them back and we're like, listen, okay, so regularly this ceramic coating would be like, $9.99. I can get it to you for $7.99. Okay, but you got to book with me before Friday. Okay, I got to get my quota up. I've got bosses to make happy. We just lean into it like that, and it converts really well. But everybody asks, what's the deal? so leaving an open-ended thing. A lot of people, I find with marketing, they tend to want to put all the information in there like it's a promo. They want to follow up and say, oh, if you book today, I can get you this for $149. You just gave the customer zero reason to reach out to you. There's no curiosity. They have all the information. Now they're just making a decision without being put in any kind of a pressure situation, right? There's a reason why when you go buy a new car, they say, come sit down in the sales guy's office, and then we'll take a look at the financing. Now you're in the guy's office, you feel guilty, you feel like, okay, I got to buy this car, even though I can't afford the payments, next thing you know, you're walking out with new wheels.
Right.
So take the same approach. So basically that's how the lead follow-ups work. And you can do other things, of course, like you can tag them and, I only want to follow up with certain leads and so on and so forth. There's filters. But that's the gist. So let's go. So that's the lead follow-ups. Post-service follow-ups are similar to the AI booking rules in the sense that it happens with customers that came in for previous appointments. The difference here is these are on very specific timeframes. The AI booking rules, you don't know what day the AI is going to choose, other than it's going to be within your limits, like empty days or days with less than this appointments. The post-service ones are very specific days. So we use this for our tinting, for example. We use it for other stuff too, detailing, ceramic coating, but the tinting one's our best example in this case because 7 days after usually is when we want to do a touch point with the customer to see how they're enjoying their tint, if there's any issues. And typically around the 3 to 5 day mark, we'll set something in there. I think it's set to 5 right now. Summertime, we change it. That's why, but winter, I think it's set to 5. And then we follow up and let them know they can roll their windows down. Prior to that, we don't want them rolling down their windows. And we tell them, we say, listen, you're going to get a message from us after your appointment telling you when you can roll your windows down. Until you get that message, please assume that you can't roll your windows down, right? The reason we do this message is a few reasons. One, so that they don't mess up their tint. The other reason is that we can follow up and sell them something else, right? So these are not just information tips. It's a good thing for that kind of stuff, like aftercare stuff, things about how to take care of your ceramic coating, so on and so forth. But every touch point with the customer should be an opportunity for a sale. And so in this case, we'll send them something, 3 or 5 days later and say, hey, it's now safe to roll down your windows. And did you know that we can also do X, Y, or Z? Or did you know that we have this promo going or something like that? We add a little something in there as that touch point. Then we'll send another one 7 days later. And the reason for us with 7 days with the tint is because usually the first week someone's enjoying their tint as much as they can by, they're driving, but they're going to work or something. But then the weekend comes. We don't know when the weekend's going to fall within, from when they last had their appointment. That's when they're going to spend the most time in their car. If there's an issue, what we've found is that's when they're going to go to Google and leave a review, right? So what we tend to do, it's the one service for some reason, like detailing, they'll leave a review right after. Tinting, they want to wait until, let me see until I've inspected it and everything like that. So after the 7 day mark, that's where we'll send them something. And we're like, hey, have you noticed any issues with it? Is give us a call. We'll leave the number for the shop manager. And then we'll say, if you're enjoying them and you love it and you want others to have the same kind of results, please leave us a 5-star review. So we put that in there. And once again, in that same message, and did you know, we also have this promo going and this and this and this, right? We put that in there as well, because every touch point. But the biggest thing for us is we use these kind of tools for different services in a different way. And I'm trying to highlight that so that you can kind of take some time and get creative with these. And that's where, someone like Aaron or even myself, we can help you set things up. But we need to know a little more about your specific business and how things are working in order to do so. But that's where if you give some thought and take a look at how people have been responding to our different services or, the post-sale stuff, you can set things like this up to help mitigate things. So like at my shop, we've got, as of this morning, 1,057 5-star reviews, which is huge, and like most people, I think industry average is something like 47 or something like that for
Yeah.
reviews. And we've got 1,057. And
Wow.
part of that is how we handle the process with the customer from start to finish. And so we can avoid a lot of negative reviews by jumping in early and saying, okay, when it comes to tinting, people usually around the 7-day mark leave us a bad review. So how can we jump in there first, mitigate that, turn that frown upside down, and then we end up getting a 5-star review, a happy customer, and they usually come in for something else. Even if people come in for tint refinements, like, oh, my left window, it's got a couple bubbles or something. They come in to get it fixed and refined. We take a look on their car because we're like, okay, if we're losing money by the sense of, our labor having to fix this, how can we get that money back? And we'll say, oh, yeah, well, we noticed you must have a dog or two, right? Oh, yeah, I've got a dog, his name's Sprinkles. So, da, da, da. Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, you know what? While we're fixing this up for $25, we can get all that pet hair gone if you want. Oh, but I thought the regular price was 65. Yeah, I know. But listen, we know you're going to leave us a great review after this when you leave here because we're fixing up this tint for you. No questions asked. And so, yeah, $25, we can get that gone. Most times they're like, yeah, go for it. If we see car seats in the back for kids, hey, you know what? While we're fixing this up, why don't I get one of my other guys to go and steam clean your kids' seats? It's usually $40, $10 or $20 each, but you know what? We'll do it for 10, no problem. And then boom, it's just something that helps cover the cost, keeps the customer happy. And we've had a discussion about the fact that we're giving you a discount because we know you're going to leave a good review. Right. So it's these kind of sales. I might have to post this in the podcast, actually. As you guys know, I have a problem with giving out too many tips, but basically, the point I'm trying to highlight is the marketing tools that are in here are built with a purpose, right? So they're built in order to help grow your business and in order to help nurture that customer relationship. So I learned a lot of this when I studied and graduated from the Walt Disney Institute of Marketing. I'm not sure if you're aware, but they actually have a huge side business. Walt Disney's side hustle is marketing. They have basically a university, and people can go there. There's execs from like Coca-Cola, like you name it. All kinds of people have attended this university, and they teach the premises of the Walt Disney Be Our Guest and that creating magic and those experiences. And that's what I've incorporated into OrbisX from start to finish. You can create these magical experiences. And so that's truly where these kinds of things, it sounds boring on its surface. Oh, post-service follow-up. Okay, great. You think it's just, oh, you follow up after the appointment and tell them, oh, hope you enjoyed your cleaning. Are you happy with the work? No, it's so much more than that. There's so much power here if you harness it properly. And so that's where I'm trying to give you guys some ideas, get the ball going. And of course, if you ever have questions about this stuff, don't hesitate, reach out, man. I'm very open. I can either, talk about it on the podcast or post in the group message, whatever. I love helping people out with, unlocking these kind of cheat codes in business because it's a lot simpler than you think. And you guys actually have the answers because you guys know more about your business than you even think you know. If you just sit down, you're like, okay, what are our customers doing? Like when they're done or when they're looking for our service, what are they doing? What are they going through? How are they feeling? And once you go through that process, you start to connect the dots and it just becomes simple, But so anyway, post-service follow-ups sounds boring on the surface, but super, super, super powerful. What else can I jump into here for you guys? Coupon codes. Okay, coupon codes, pretty self-explanatory. Mixed opinions about coupon codes, but just to touch on that, I'm a fan of coupon codes when they're used the right way. So a lot of people use them the wrong way. I'm not a fan of discounts because I don't like discounting our service, but I am a fan of giving bonuses. Let's call them bonuses, where it's sometimes we'll run a discount or a coupon, but what we've done is inflated our price and then we just scale it back with a coupon, right? But we also do that in like advance of us increasing our prices permanently. So for example, if we were charging 145 for detailing, now we're going to start charging 199. To make that jump, it's really difficult. And sometimes you can disassociate yourself with your current customer base. If you just make that jump, they say, geez, I used to pay 165 or 145. Now it's 199. What's happening? They start to look at, oh, the business is growing too much. They're changing. They think that they're no longer going to be a good fit for your business. So what we do is we always, reach out to our past customers on every visit in advance of us raising our prices. And we don't say like, oh, we're raising our prices. That doesn't sound good. What we say instead is, We've done a lot of things to enhance the value we can deliver to you. And as a result of that does come increased costs because we've had to hire, better laborers, better equipment, so on and so forth to better serve you. But we don't want to just pass on the cost to you and then we'll make a joke. Like we know a lot of businesses that do that, right? We don't want to fall into that category. So what we're going to do is help to subsidize and offset that price increase for you because we appreciate your business. And we're going to do that by giving you a coupon code that's valid just for you for 12 months. And then after that 12-month period, you'll see the value, you're going to appreciate the value, and you'll understand why our prices are what they are. But that way, it's a good way of preventing any kind of, customer being like, oh, blah, 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 whatever. And so you're still getting the same amount because let's say you're doing the jump to, up $50 or something. You don't have to give them a coupon for $50. You give them a coupon for like $15 or $20, right? They feel like you're caring about them. And so that's how we use coupon codes. In terms of adding them to the system, pretty simple, straightforward. Add coupon, type in the code you want, choose an expiration date if you want. They don't have to expire, and then limited quantity or whatever. But you can actually associate coupons to customer profiles as well, which is pretty cool. So that's something you can use, you can not use, it depends, but it will show up on their profile and limit it to them on the booking form, for example. But even if it's assigned to a client, you'll be able to add it manually to any invoice. And so you would just do it under actions, and then you can, assign new client, view client, or remove client assignment as well. So that's where it's pretty cool. Usually what we do though, is we just make a generic coupon for the year when in advance of raising prices, and then we just give it to all our current customers. And hey, if they share it with somebody, so what? You know what I mean? You're doing this in hopes of raising your prices full time, and you've already increased them a little bit anyways. So just for us, we're just happy with the extra business, but it's a lot better than making 10,000 coupons and having to manage that, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so that's coupons. Let me jump here. So contests. Oh, couldn't wait to get to this one. Love contests. So contests and raffles. Not sure. Were you aware you could do contests in OrbisX or no? No?
I didn't
Fantastic.
know personally, no.
Awesome. Okay. One of my favorite features. I absolutely love contests. And the way that these are set up is pretty cool. So I used to own a business. It was called Prize Max. Oh my God, we're going back, geez, 8 years at least. So I had this company, exited that company, but it was a software company as well. But what we did is, so my other business is a marketing company, and we assisted a lot of companies like Toyota, you name it. We worked with a lot of big brands, Harley Davidson, but we worked with them specifically on contests and raffles. And what we were helping them with is getting a lot of traffic into their businesses by giving away as little as possible. I mean, that's pretty much the goal of everybody. So we're like, okay, how do we solve this? We created contests, but we did them in a pretty cool way. So you're giving away one thing. That's normal for contests, right? That's nothing new. But for us, it was in the follow-up. It was what happens after, because now you've got all this information about people that are interested in something. And so what do you do with those people? So it was the second chance offers, and that's where we excelled. So Toyota, for example, we ran a campaign with them. They wanted to get more people in for test drives. So what we did is we gave away oil changes. So it was, you could get an oil change, and all you had to do was fill in your information about your vehicle, and then you enter to win a free oil change. So we thought it was going to be like, not too many people would enter. We thought maybe we'd get 1,000 people, something like that. Within 12 hours, we had 10,000 people had already entered the contest. It was insane.
Wow.
And the city that we were in had about 95,000 people. So it was like we captured 9% of the whole market. It was insane. And it kept growing from there. We ran it for 72 full hours. And at the end of it, we had almost 20,000 people that had signed up. It was insane. They booked so many test drives, and they told us it was one of their biggest campaigns that they had ever run. It was huge. So when I started OrbisX, fast forward 8 years later, I was like, okay, how do we incorporate contests in a similar way, but make it flexible where it could be anything and have all the right options? And so this is the feature that has arrived. And so essentially, I'll go through the options here, but basically what happens is when you're creating a contest, you choose, the title for it, the expiration date, how many people can enter it as a maximum, things like that. Sometimes scarcity helps. But then the important parts are here. Ask for entrance name, email, phone, and vehicle. So this is where you can really get creative. So for us, for example, we gave away a free tint recently, and we usually run about 4 or 5 contests a year, different services. And what happens is you get, okay, great. Our cost on that is minimal. And even if you factor in what we're losing as like potential profit, so let's say $250, $300, something like that.
Yeah.
But we now get all these people that enter to win. So if we get, 1,200 people in the city that enter, we now have their name, email, phone, and their year, make, and model. And then my guys jump on the phone and they start reaching out and they say, hey, thanks for entering to win. We know you've got the, whatever, blah, 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 this vehicle. We can get that thing tinted for you. And unfortunately, you didn't win, but, we can offer you it for this price or something. So we just now have this huge database that we just got for free. And we can phone them and we know everything. We know their vehicle, everything. So they feel that personal connection. We know exactly what we're selling. We know the price in advance. And even better than this, the system can automatically convert them to leads. And then those follow-ups I showed you before, where it'll automatically follow up, those can automatically go out to these contest winners as well and pitch them on services as well with those same follow-up steps, the 1 day, 3 day, 7 day, so which is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Now, the other part where this gets really interesting is, so you put in the prize details. Okay, that's great. They get to win a free tint, for example. But then the offer for non-winners. So this is where what they're entering to win. So the ball's in your court. Okay, they're entering to win a free tint. Great. After they didn't win, so why don't we sell them the tint? They want the tint. They just entered to win it. They can't tell you that they're not interested. You entered to win, right? So what you do is you make the second chance offer exactly the same as the prize they entered to win, but you just offer it to them at like a discounted rate or something like that. But once again, you inflate the price. So you say, okay, it's normally $250. We're going to put it at, $299, and we're going to say $49 off. That's what you get for entering to win. Piece of cake, right? And so the beauty about this is everybody will open the email. And how do we know that? The subject line. The subject line that goes out says, and the winner is ... That they don't know if they won or not. So everybody clicks and opens that email. So that's what we did for Toyota. It was hugely successful. And it all came down to the subject line, because we tried other subject lines with other campaigns. They weren't that great. They worked okay. There was somewhere we tried, the basics, like, sorry, you didn't win, stuff like that. That one had the lowest open rate. Like, who's opening that? Sorry, I didn't win. You already told me what I need to know. I didn't win. Trash, right? This one, and the winner is ... Everybody opens that. Then boom, you show them a little blurb about some stuff and everything. You can put in your own images. So contests are huge, and all of this is included for free with OrbisX, which is pretty amazing. And so this is one of my favorite ones. As you can see, this is why I couldn't wait till we got here, because I really wanted to highlight the fact that
You hear me, Charlie?
I can hear you. Is he frozen for you too?
Yeah. Maybe he's trolling.
Nah.
So funny. He's just like, just kidding.
I wonder if he knows. Bro, this guy is. There we go. Let's see.
got it.
There we go.
Sorry guys, my internet dropped there.
Oh, no worries.
We have a storm right now. I'm not sure if that's impacting things, but let me see here. Yeah, it's refresh my page. Okay, beautiful. Okay, everything seems to be back on track now, and hopefully, oh yeah, I went right back into recording. Okay, cool. But yeah, sorry for that. But
No
okay,
worries.
so left off on contest. Not sure. I kept going, so I don't know how much. I was dropping more tips, but so basically with contests, I wanted to show you that because it's a hugely powerful tool for your business. Of course, great way to generate some leads. It's perfect if you're going to, like a car show or something. Oh, I think I have to share my screen again. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Back up and rocking. So Yeah, we use it when we do all kinds of different events, but we also just use it even at our business. So someone comes in, if they came in for one service, we let them know they can enter to win another service that we have. Everything is about exposing them to all that we have to offer, because a lot of times when people run marketing, especially if you do it properly, you want to niche down and you really want to come after one particular thing. So for example, tinting or detailing, you don't want to just have an ad that says we do everything, we do tinting and detailing, ceramic coating. The customer's getting confused in all the messages. Instead, you want to have multiple ads running where it says, we're detailing specialists, that's what we do. Even if you're specialists in other things, that's fine, but the ad should be very, focused and centric around something that the customer is going to relate to. You can find the right customer for that particular ad. But then the problem with that is that they're not exposed to your other services. So how do you do that? And the way to do that, of course, is with online retargeting through your Facebook ads and stuff, but also retargeting within your own business. So that's where you could have contests running. And let's say you have a yearly contest, you could set literally an expiration date for a year and just run it every year. And at the end of the year, we're going to choose a winner and they win this, whatever. You know what I mean? You could do anything. I would recommend doing monthly contests, but every month, put up a little QR code or something. You could have a board in the shop where it has, like our detailing contest, QR code, tinting contest, QR code. And once you guys get into PPF and stuff, as the services expand, add these different contests. That way, when someone comes in for one thing, they see, oh, geez, look, they're running a contest for tinting. I didn't know you guys did tinting. That's amazing. Now it's a whole other conversation. Like, oh yeah, we definitely do tinting. That one's for our, standard window film, but we also have ceramic window film, which is going to keep the youngsters in the back protected from those UV rays. It's going to block out extra heat, so on and so forth. So it just leads into these other conversations. They might not even care about the contest. They're like, that sounds fantastic. I don't want to wait 30 days. I want this today. Can you do it by the weekend? Absolutely. How's Thursday or Friday? You can enjoy it on the weekend. That sound good to you? You know what I mean? Like you can lean into those sales tactics like that. So that's where contests, to wrap that up, one of my favorite things in the world when they're used right. A lot of people are hesitant because they're like, oh, the only people that enter contests are people that want free stuff. That's wrong. Everybody's out here spending money on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all in your sales approach, so it's, if you come at it with the right way, as long as you're providing value and you're finding a solution to a problem that they have, then you're going to sell it. All right. So moving on here now. Geez, I didn't realize in the beginning, I was like, oh, and you can see there's not too much in here, so you can go around. As I'm going through them, I'm like, man, there's a lot. All right. So referral sources, tracking and rewards. We use this one quite a bit. We have quite a few affiliate partners that we work with. What this is, you can create affiliates or partners, and I'll use some examples to clarify that, and then track their rewards. So you can track how many referrals they've sent you, and then they'll automatically get issued rewards that they can redeem, right? Now, what we do with ours is two things. One, we give gas cards or coffee cards or things like that, those like prepaid cards you can get at the corner stores. That's one option we do. The
Okay.
other option we do, which is our preferred method, is we give our own services as a reward, because all of these people are customers as well, right? So we work with realtors, we work with barbers. There's a barber shop in our plaza. They send us tons of people. And what we do is we give them detailing services in exchange. Now, they don't get it 100% free, but they get a discount. That's what they can earn by sending us people. And it's a perfect fit. So referral partners are a great marketing tool because, for example, someone's going to the barber shop, they're going to be there for, at least an hour. Well, it's no big deal if they have to wait another, hour after to get their car picked up, because maybe there's other stuff they can do. Across the street from us is also a grocery store. So the guy gets a nice, haircut, goes across the street, does a little bit of errands, picks up some grapes and milk and bread and whatever else he needs. And then he runs across back and he gets his car, so it's a great way to capitalize on people's downtime and get those referrals, but also other referral partners like realtors, things like that. Someone just moves into the area, realtors out there promoting us because he knows he's going to get some services as a kickback. And then also it helps us out. So it's a way to build those symbiotic relationships, but have it tracked. And that's a big thing. I think without the tracking, it's harder to get affiliate partners, because they're like, okay, well, I'm going to send you people, but how do I even know that, I'm going to get rewarded for it? Am I just going to send you 50 people and then I get nothing in return? But when you can let them know, no, we're using a system that we pay for on a monthly basis and it tracks this for us. then it instills that confidence, and they know, especially once they get their first reward, you watch how those referrals ramp up after they get their first reward. They're holy shit, this works. Now the floodgates are open, right? So that's where those kind of things, it's one of those like slow to take off, but once it's rolling, that ball just rolls. And so it's great. If you do pet hair removal, most of us do. Dog groomers, huge market with dog groomers. Oh my God. Every detailer out there, if they're ever looking for some business, I know we all don't like pet hair. I get it. You know what I mean? But pet hair is kind of the gateway drug in detailing. It's just going to get them into something else. So start them there. And next thing you know, they're getting tinting done, ceramic coating done, this and that. Like, it's not just the pet hair. That's just the entryway in, right? So we work a lot with pet groomers, things like that. And so how it works is essentially you put in, the person's name, email, phone number, put in some notes that helps for, tracking, like, okay, it's a realtor or so-and-so. You can even put the realtor brokerage that they're with, stuff like that, and then put in the reward, whatever it is. Now, this was designed to be just a text-based field so that you can put in anything for each partner. It could be different, right? So you could say $25 gift certificate, or you could get very specific. Maybe someone tells you like, oh, I would love to send you some places, but during your talk, like talking with the customer, during talks with the referral partner, he's telling you, oh yeah, I can send you tons of people. And then through your talks, you discover he really likes this one particular restaurant or a brand of cologne, or who knows, could be anything. Well, then you now have a great idea, and you're like, hey, you know what? That's what his referral reward's going to be, right? You put that in there, the minute he earns that, he's going to do a backflip and a cartwheel at the same time, right? And so that's where paying attention can really help. And then, put that in the notes, and that's what he gets. And then for each one, you can put how many referrals it takes for them to actually earn that reward. That's helpful because you can assign the value instead of it being like, oh, every referral is worth X and you're going to get this. It's very dynamic this way, right? So you're actually building proper relationships with these partners, because that's one of the fastest ways to grow, is they're going to do the selling for you, right? Like a good example is, how did you guys hear about OrbisX, by the way?
One of the companies here in Colorado, in
Nice.
Colorado Springs, show
Right
Colorado.
on. Yeah. Absolutely. See, and so one of OrbisX's referral partners let you guys know about OrbisX. Is that kind of how it worked? Absolutely.
It was one of our web developers actually noticed that was the booking software they use. Actually.
Oh, no way.
So then our web developer kind of shot us into looking into
Oh,
this.
wicked. Okay. Who's your web guy?
He's from a different country, from Bangladesh.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, okay. And he just happened to notice it. Okay. I thought maybe we'd work together. Yeah. Cause I work. Yeah. No. Awesome. Yeah. But cause I work with a lot of different vendors when they're, like putting it in their customer sites and things like that. But no, that's awesome. Okay. Well, so part of how OrbisX grew though is through referral partners. Like that's how, like, we're in 19 countries now. And a big part of that is because so many people just refer others to it, and they earn a reward for their referrals, right? So we do a free month for everyone that refers somebody. And that way it helped grow things. And literally that's how within 3 years, now we're in 19 countries. It was, I attributed to that my hard work, a little bit of rum and a lot of coffee. That's in other days that ratio is reversed. It all depends. That's fine. So, all right, awesome. So that's referral sources. I highly recommend checking that out as well.
Awesome.
And then this is another good one. Someone was just asking me about this literally in the group before I jumped on the call with us. So special dates messaging. So this is a great one. We pay attention to customers when they come into our shop all the time. So my staff, they have a rule, and they have to find 3 things about every customer when they come in. 3 things. Their commissions are based on whether or not there's 3 things about every customer. So they get a commission. We do 50%, which is pretty high, I know, but we do 50% on upsells, and then they get paid just their hourly for the actual jobs. So the upsells, that's why they push it so hard. They most times make more off their upsells than they do their regular salary. But their commission is dependent on those 3 things. I want to know 3 unique things about every customer. And it might seem silly, but I want to know, it could be something simple, like he wears his watch on his left hand. It could be something simple. I don't care. But I want 3 unique things, and they can't be made up. They have to be something that we could use for some sort of marketing thing. So maybe the watch on the left hand wouldn't work, but it can be simple things like that. So I want to know, and it's mostly just to train them to think like a CSI investigator almost. You know, they look at the crime scene. The customer's car comes in, and actually some of them do look like crime scenes. I'm sure you've seen that too. But,
Oh, yeah.
But basically, we want to find 3 unique things about that customer that are our USPs, our unique selling points, right? And so we want to find out, do they have children? Were their car seats? Do they, it could be anything. Do they vape? Do they smoke? That's going to, impact the windows on the inside, that they're going to want to clean that film off, or the smoke smell. Do they have pet hair? Those are the obvious ones, right? But then there's other things that customers say casually, like, what's the reason for the detail today? Oh, well, this Saturday I'm taking the wife out, it's our daughter's going away to university and stuff. Oh, that's great. So you guys are going to be empty nesters. When does that start? Oh, yeah, she's going away September 10th, and so we're going to be alone at the house, da, 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 da. So perfect. September 10th, their kid's going away, right? So we're going to message him the week of the 10th before, and we're going to say, how would you like to get your car clean for that road trip to go visit your daughter for the first time? Right? Stuff like this.
Wow.
So we'll do like crazy things like this. And it really solidifies that relationship with the customer, leads to an almost instant sale, and ultimately is really easy to do. So it fills all those boxes. It checks them all. Now, the obvious ones are finding out a customer's birthday. Quick way to do that is creep them on Facebook. No joke. Go to Facebook and type in their name, phone number, email, whatever you got, creep them. See if their birthday's posted. If it is, perfect. Plug it into the system. So here you can see, you can create templates. So you can give it a name, email subject, and then the message, right? Same thing for the SMS message. This one as an example, birthday promo, right? So you can have something go out to them saying, happy birthday, da 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 da. And what happens now is once you have these set, I'll go to just a random client profile here, and I'll show you. There we go, test customer. And so if I scroll down, you're going to see special dates. And this is where per customer, you can put in a special date, right? And it'll send it to them every year, right? So you choose, the date that you want it to send, as well as the time, and then you choose the one that you want to send. It's really that simple. So it's like, boom. There you go. I just added one. So now it's going to send the birthday promo template every year on February 17th at 9 a.m. And then it's done. You're now wishing that customer happy birthday every year for the rest of their life, right? They're going to be happy about that. Now, a great trick here, though, just a little, here's another tip. I know. Just a
I'll
tip.
keep them coming.
So another tip is actually not to send it on their birthday. People are usually getting the most messages on their birthday, right? So a lot of people think that's the ideal time to send someone a message on their birthday. The best times are before and after. After you say, oops, did we miss it again this year? Happy birthday, buddy. Da, 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 a little message about your company, right? The other option is beforehand. Be like, here's to another trip around the sun. I wanted to catch you before all your buddies are messaging you, right? So now you've got their undivided attention, because it's not happening on the big day where they're getting a ton of messages and stuff like that, right? And then you can get creative and clever with it. You could be like, I bet you it's chocolates. And then be like, just kidding. I don't know what your wife got you. You could say like silly things, right? So you can get creative with it. It captures their attention. It builds that dialogue, and it doesn't sound like it's coming from a computer, right? So it's a way of making it seem like you actually sent this message, whereas the computer is the one doing the sending for you, right? And that's where the time to send is important, because you can choose different times, and you can say like, send this to them at 11 a.m. So it seems like maybe you were just taking a break, you just finished a job, and now you're, gotta send them a quick message. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that's how we use it. We don't send it exactly on the date, and we try and get creative with it. But you can do this for all kinds of things, anniversaries or anything. If they mention any little minute detail, take note of that, add it to their profile, and then set up one of these messages. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And for yourselves right now, the processes that you want to start having your staff get into when you start hiring staff, those are the processes you should start practicing now, so that you know how much time it takes, how easy or difficult it is. And then you can have those conversations with your staff when they're like, oh, I forgot to do it today. You can be like, listen, when I was doing it, I was doing 20 of these a day, and you can't even do 4? Come on. You know what I mean? You can have those kind of conversations, but if you've never done it before, it's like, oh yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe it does take too much time. It's easy for us to tell ourselves that, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, my wife and I working at the shop, we would do every process that we do now, we did ourselves, every single one, because we wanted to make sure that when it came time to hire people, we knew how many staff do we even need? What responsibilities can they do? What should they do? What should they not do? Stuff like that. And so that's where OrbisX has all the tools to help manage your growth as you go. But knowing how and when to pull the trigger on certain things is going to be crucial. Absolutely. So I covered the marketing tab pretty in depth, I think.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Thank
Fantastic.
you very
Now,
much.
I do have a meeting to jump into, but I can definitely do a follow-up with you guys as well if needed, and I can help with the setup as well. I know you had asked for like, you know, what's involved with the setup and stuff. My recommendation is going to be, if you want to do it, sure, absolutely. It's fantastic and Aaron is amazing. But my recommendation is going to be, if you want, we could work together on this, take things in pieces, as you've seen with just the marketing tab. There's a lot of stuff to dissect here. There's a lot of things to unpack and deal with. But I'm not asking you to have the bandwidth for this in one weekend, right? What I'm suggesting is that let's take this in pieces, focus on the most important things first. So depending on the stage you're at right now, like maybe you guys are in similar situation to us where it's winter and, you know, maybe you're looking to, let's get more organized for our busy season, or maybe you're like, you know, let's ramp up some jobs right now. So find out, you know, take some time, discuss with each other where you're at right now, what you want to do. Let me know those goals, and then let's work together and set up the right tools for you right now. And then the rest we'll set up one thing. All right, cool. Now let's go to the next thing. As you've seen, most of the stuff is plug and play. Once you set it up once, it's done, and then you just use it, right? So my recommendation is, you know, let's work together. Let's set this up in the group. Of course, there's everyone there to help out, answer questions and stuff like that, participate. Yeah, we'll all be there. And just remember that, you know, unlike high school or something like that, this is the one class where participating actually leads to, to results, right?
Yep.
not just marks for showing up, right? This is like, you know, the real deal. You know, those that open their mouth get fed. So absolutely, I'm here to help, whatever you need. And yeah, man, let's crush it. Yeah.
Do it.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for all the
absolutely,
tips.
Man. Oh, you're most welcome.
Much appreciated.
The bouquet of tips. You're welcome, man. I should see a psychologist about this. I have a problem. Awesome, man.
Benefits us,
Listen,
so we're cool with it.
yeah. Yeah, and so that episode coming Tuesday, be sure to keep an eye out for that one. It's gonna be
Definitely.
good. You guys are in the Facebook group as well, I imagine.
I'm not on
I'm not.
Facebook to be
You're
honest.
joking. All right,
I'll use
send
it.
you guys- yeah, I'll send you the link. We have so the Facebook group, we have like 2,300 members in there or something. We all
Awesome.
help each other out, answer questions, and there's the cool thing is there's guys in there that do services you might not do. And so when you're looking to, you know, normally in groups, you ask a question like, hey, I'm looking to get into this, and everyone just kind of like shits on you and jumps down your throat. And it's, you know, it's a horrible experience. That doesn't happen in OrbisX. The members
Awesome.
actually, they're like, oh, you know what? Listen, this is going to be too much going back and forth in comments. Just PM me and I'll jump on a call with you real quick. And I'll tell you what, you know, vacuum you should use or this and that. Like it's a completely different experience. You know, they're great guys. I'll send you guys a link when we're done here.
Awesome.
Be sure to join in that. And I post all the updates in there too. So like when new features come out and stuff like that. So if you're not in there, you're missing out.
Wait, I'll join it.
Awesome, man. Right on. Well, I'll send it to you as soon as we're done this, and I'll send you the recording as well so that you can, you know, review things and stuff like that and go
Awesome.
over all the tips.
Thank you. Thank
Sounds
you so
good.
much.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Okay.
You too.
you.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Oh, you're most welcome. All right. Cheers.
Talk to you later.